If you're like most average golfers, they really whinge and complain about how bad they putt. Well, from my perspective as a full-time golf coach, I don't see people putting very much effort into their putting. It's been well documented that PGA Tour players average between 10 to 15 hours a week on the skill of putting alone. The average club champion spends 1 to 3 hours a week on the skill of putting. The average club golfer spends 10 minutes, and it's usually they play twice a week, and it's 5 minutes before they tee off, they hit a few putts. I'm not even going to call that practice. I call that a bit of a warm-up. So wherever you're at the moment, I'd like you to try and just move up to another level. So if you're the average golfer spending 10 minutes a week practicing the skill of putting, let's see if we can get that up to half an hour. That would be really beneficial. Now, what I want you to do is to make the best use of that half hour that you can. And we don't want to just go and play mini golf and go from that hole to that hole to this hole to that hole to that hole. That's not really going to help you that much. So the two areas that I think you should be practicing the most are your distance control. And if we can get better at distance control, we're going to have less three putts. Then we're also going to focus on those short putts. If we can make more putts specifically from 8 feet and under, it's really going to help lower your golf score. So they're the two areas, and I'm going to give you some drills that I quite often use to help with that area. So the first one in terms of distance control is, where are we at the moment? We're 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, we're 18 feet. So from 15 feet from the hole, which is about here, PGA Tour average is they hold 20%. The average club golfer, the three putts from 15 feet, 51% of the time. So if you can just learn to not hole putts, but just not three putt, you're ahead of most of your amateur playing partners. Just think about that for a minute. By not three putting from 15 feet, you're going to be ahead of most of your amateur golfers. So distance control is important. And of course, the reason people three putt from 15 feet is they're trying to make the putt. They think that the PGA Tour average is 50%. It's 20%. So just by hitting the ball at the right pace, it's going to help you. So one of the things that I like to do on a regular basis is just putt one-handed. And it's right hand only. I get my position, my right hand in its correct position on the club. And I'm just going to try and hit this putt up there. Now, it's amazing how easy it is to get good distance control when you've only got the one hand on the putter. And I like to do it several times, and I'll do it from different positions. I won't always stay in the same position. But it's incredible how much better you are just by letting that right hand do the hitting. Yes, you're going to notice you're going to get a little bit of a wobble up sometimes, but don't worry about it because it'll square itself up. With one hand on the putter like that, you're going to find your right hand is going to square itself up quite nicely and you'll get some really good putts. So I'll just hit one more. So there are 3 solid putts. All 3 of them I can help make 2 putts pretty easy, no stress. So once you've done that one hand, we can then work on doing the same thing with 2 hands and just getting a bit of a feel. So if you spend 5 to 10 minutes just on that, it's going to help. So another area that people don't practice their putting enough on is putts of 45 feet. And people think that a putt of 45 feet is a really long putt. This putt that I have here is 45 feet and it's long-ish, but you can get much longer putts in a game of golf, yet people don't practice this putt. It's not that long a putt. So I would get comfortable practicing these sorts of lengths on a regular basis. And I'll show you another drill a little later on how I think you should be practicing this. But the other thing that I see people doing is they really spend too much time over the putt. The more time you're over the putt, the more time you have to think, the more stressful the putt becomes. And this is a putt of any length. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to practice hitting the putt where I really don't give a toss. And that seems funny, but I want to get you totally relaxed and putt as if you don't care. Because if you putt as if you don't care, putting is so much easier. So I'm going to start by looking away from the target. I'm just going to move into the ball, not really align myself up too much. And now I'm just going to hit it. And then we do it again. Don't worry too much about the result. I'm not going to talk this time. I'm just going to do it as I would normally do it. It's amazing how much better you putt when you don't care. I'll do it one more time. And the more you can practice that, it takes pressure off you. You won't be thinking too much about the putts. And it's amazing how much better you will find yourself putting if you take some of the pressure off and you just take it nice and easy. And you don't do this all the time on the course, but if you can practice this way, it'll make the course putting so much easier. And this one here is without doubt my favorite long distance putting and field control game. So I would normally have 8 tees surrounding the hole. I've got 4 today, just as a bit of a guide. I've then set up 7 balls, 15 feet, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and 45 feet. The goal is to try and get as many of these balls inside the circle as I can. And I would normally have a golf tee at each of these ball locations, and I would use 1, but this is not a bad variation. So the idea is that we try and get a score out of 7. And it's good to put it in your notes function of your phone, distance control putting game, today's date, and your score. And the aim is we're trying to get a better score today than we did last time we hit it. So I would encourage you to take as much time as you like, hit each ball on its merits, go through your pre-shot routine, line the ball up, and it doesn't matter whether the ball goes in the hole, we're just trying to get the ball inside the circle. So we'll start with the 15-footer. So that one's inside the circle. So that would count as a score of 1. I wouldn't recommend going back sequentially to each ball. I would go random order. So I'm just going to tap this one down so these other balls don't interfere. So we've had 15, 20, 25. This is the 30-foot putt. So once again, we would line it up, go through your pre-shot routine, full concentration. Terrible putt. So that would be a big 0. So I'm 1 out of 2. Not a very good putt. I'm going to go right down here to the end. 45-foot putt now. Go through the pre-shot routine again. That's hit the tee, but I think it might have just stayed inside, so we'll count that as a bit of a pass. You've got to use a bit of imagination. I'm not going to go through and hit each putt, but I think you can see that if you can do this and then calculate your score. And it doesn't really matter if it's bad. Bad means it's an opportunity to improve. And if you can improve your distance control in putting, you're going to have a lot less three putts. This is one that I would use on a regular basis, and it really is going to help you. So just recapping, it's a 3-foot circle, and then we go 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and you get a score out of 7, and we just try and make it better today than what it was last time. So another short putting game that I like to play is just a simple one called North, South, East and West. And it's made interesting here at Lang Lang because this green has a fair degree of slope on it. So I've got my 4 tees at 3 foot at the 3 foot range. I'm going to set it up, go through your pre-shot routine, and 3 foot is a pretty easy putts to make. It's so easy to miss them though. So this is a little right to left putt. Okay, so that would be 1. Now I'm going to go through this one. So this one's a straight uphill putt. No break in it at all, just straight uphill. Okay, now I'm going to go through this one. So this one's a little left to righter, probably my least favorite putt, and it's the putt that a lot of golfers don't like. Just a little left to right slider. Got it in. Now we go to the last one. Just a straight downhill putt. Okay, so we got all 4 in. What I would then do is I would then extend it another foot. So I'd try from 4 feet, doing the same principle, and then go to 5 and then go to 6. You can keep going as far as you like. But just that north, south, east, west concept is good because it's giving you the putts that you really should get and you expect to get, but you so often miss. But you've got an uphill, a downhill, a right to left, and a left to right putt. All the putts that you get in a game of golf. It's a really, really good putting drill. So another one of my favorite games that I use is the hole stuffing drill. And if we were doing this before I tee off, I'd probably do it from 2 feet because it's very hard to miss from 2 feet and you want to build yourself with confidence. From 3 foot, yeah, we might miss 1 or 2, but it's really just an exercise in trying to see the ball going in the hole. Not that I'm actually watching it go in. I saw that out of the corner of my eye. Generally when we miss because we start following the ball. But we're trying to stuff the hole with golf balls. This is pretty much a straight uphill putt. So as long as I don't look and see where the ball's going, and it's good practice keeping your head effectively looking at the spot that the ball's resting on during the putting stroke. And we just keep going. See there, it's starting to get hard for the ball to go in the hole. Ha! Missed the last one. But you can get the gist. You're trying to stuff the ball and just seeing positive results all the time. And I did see that last one miss, so I moved my head. But if you can do something like that each time, it's really going to help in how you hit your putts, and it's going to make you a better short putter. So another game that I often play is to just experiment with different paces. So this is once again 3 feet. So I'm going to try and hit a putt here that just dies in the very front of the cup. Just snuck in and fell in. So with the next one, I'm going to try and hit this one so it hits the very back of the cup. So that one hit the very back of the cup. And the third one in this series is I'm going to try and get the ball to fall in the cup and go in the middle of the hole. So it's not just going to dribble in the front, it's not going to hit the back. And that one went in at the right speed. So if you start fiddling around with speeds, it's giving you a feel for different speeds, and you can get some confidence as to which ones work well for you. So there's a few ideas that you can utilize, and I've got many more. This is just a little start, but if you can go through and do this little exercise, you're going to find that half an hour is going to go pretty quickly, particularly if you start doing some of these from different lengths. And if you can do half an hour of practice a week, it doesn't all have to be on the same day. You could do one skill each day that you practice. But if you can utilize that, I know it's going to help you.